What's up guys, Ben here and welcome to my channel. This is a quick behind the scenes of how to do studio portraits with one light setup. It's been a while I did a studio shoot for you guys to see. It's always like location behind the scenes, but this time I'm just quickly going to do or show you guys how to do one light setup in a studio. First of all, I'm using the Fujifilm X-T30 with the 18-55 kit lens, and in terms of light too, I'm using the Godox AD600BM, and the trigger is the Godox S Pro F. With the softbox too is the Celens 120cm softbox, which is double diffused. There's an outer diffuser and an inner diffuser. So we have our model here. Please, what's your name?
Delia.
Yeah, Delia. And your Instagram account?
_Delia_.
Okay, so this is our model for today. She volunteered to be used for this video, so you guys go follow and check her out on Instagram. When it comes to one light setup, I like using bigger modifiers, which gives me softer quality of light. And so this is the 120cm Celens octabox, and in terms of positioning the lights, as you already know, I always like to do Rembrandt lighting, which is the light hitting one side of the model's face and spilling over to the other. So it can either be on the right or on the left. So let me quickly position for you guys to see. So I'm positioning it on the right of the model, or no, it's left of the model and right on the camera. Positioning of the light is really critical in getting a really amazing soft light. So when it comes to the modifier, this part of the modifier can be really harsh sometimes. So I always love to position the modifier in a way that the edge of the light hits the model instead of the middle of the light, because it's hotter in the middle and softer around the edges. So I always love to position it in a way that the edges of the light will be hitting the model instead. So let me quickly position for you guys to see. Okay, just can you come a little bit? What? Yeah. Okay. And a little bit on the right. Yeah. Yeah. So as you can see, this part is closer to the model compared to if I position it this way and let the middle part hit the model. That one would be really flattering on her skin, because she's such a beautiful model, and you'd want to always give like softer light when you're shooting portraits of women. So it's always advisable to just position it in a way that the edge of the softbox is the one, or is the part rather hitting the subject. As I on the lights, the output is on 1/4, and then my settings right here is shutter speed 1/68 of a second, aperture f/50, and then ISO 160. So let me just do a test. Like, I've not done any setting. Let me just test and see how it looks. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so right from the start, it looks really perfect. So I think I like the exposure right now. I may have to just close up my aperture a bit. And in terms of settings in studio, when I'm shooting in studio, so I don't really like to do shallow depth of field. Like, I like to close up my aperture, so like shooting from f7.1 upwards to get a really sharper photo. And then the shutter speed too, I don't usually go above 1/200 of a second. So it's between 1/80th, 1/100th, and then 1/160th. And then when it comes to ISO 2, I usually like to play around ISO 100 and 200. Right now it's like in between ISO 100 and 200. Right now it's the ISO is 160, which is perfect for me. So I think the only thing I'll do right now is just close up my aperture a bit to, like, let's say f7.1. So let me take that and then we see the exposure. Okay. Nice. Okay. No, let's do the same thing again. The same, yeah, just look at me. Yeah. So I think this is a perfect exposure. And yeah, with a setup like this, I think it's just, you're just straight, like ready to go. When the light is closer to the background, it affects the background, and when it's far away it affects it differently. So you may want to really take note of that, depending on how you want it. Right now, I think when the light flashes, a little bit hits the backdrop, so it's also illuminated. So let me try move the model farther away from the backdrop, and then the light too, and let's see. So come for it. Yeah, and then yeah. So I've moved the model further away from the backdrop, and the light also further away. So let me take for you guys to see how it affects the model and also the backdrop. Yeah, so you see, the backdrop is a bit darker because there's not enough light hitting the backdrop, and these are how you control your light in the studio and how you want it to look. So you can either move the model closer to the backdrop and have some of the light hitting it, or you can move the model further away and have a little of the light hitting the backdrop, giving you a really dramatic look. So the choice is yours as a creative person to decide which look that you want. So I think for now we have how we want the photo to look. So in terms of the position of the light and the position of the model to the backdrop, we have it. So I think I'll take a few more. You give me different poses, and then we'll see what we'll do next. So let me, yeah, okay. Nice, I really love it. So I'm still shooting at f7.1, ISO 160, shutter speed 160. So this is what it's giving me right now. Yeah, chin down a bit. I really like this pose. Chin down more. Yeah. Perfect. So the photos really look great as far as one light is concerned. But the next thing I would like to do is add a bit of a bounce, or a soft bounce, to see how it will affect the light. Because if you look at the photo, the light is hitting one side of the model's face and spreading over, creating the Rembrandt's triangle, and then the left side is like a bit dark. So you can leave it like this, which is perfect. If you want a more flattering look, you can add a white bounce on the left side to just fill a little bit. So do this pose again. So now we are adding a white fill, which is just a whiteboard. So you can use any whiteboard, there's no particular material, but anything that has a white surface that you can use to bounce lights, you can use it. This is just a normal white board that I bought. So let's just add to the photo and see how it affects it. Nice. So as you can see, it's filled in perfectly and so flattering. So this is also another way of doing a one light setup, one light and then the fill on the other, to just balance out or just like subtly fill in a little bit of light. So let's take a few more of one light with a fill for you guys to see. Yeah, this is cool. Hold it. Nice. Let me come in more. Nice, really nice. Great. Yeah, so these are just with one light and a white fill. Now the next thing I want to do is add another fill below to bounce in more light, like under her neck, to fill in the shadows. So I think, yeah. Adding another white board. You can use silver reflector. I don't like using silver reflectors because sometimes they are too harsh for me. And like looking at the look that we're having right now, I really want it to be soft, pretty model. So I don't want any harsh light. I always prefer to use white bounce. So one light, one white board filling on the other side, and now I'm adding one more light below to fill in. So if you look at it, this is an L shape. So this is once again just a plywood or a board with white paint, right? Yeah, so it's not anything special, anything that like you can get to, you can make this type of bounce, like you can make it by yourself. So don't stress yourself trying to get some expensive bounce. You can just make them yourself, like silver foil, white board, formica board, and all of that. They are really good for bouncing light. So let's see how it looks. Let me take this one, landscape. Oh, nice. Let's bring the whiteboard up a bit. Yeah. Let me come closer. And let me go closer. Yeah. Got it. Nice. So these are really looking great. You may think that we use like so many different lights to do it, but it's just one light with different bounces. And if you look at the setup and you look at the photo right now, you can see the bounce, the board with the light in her eyes, which also really looks amazing, like a cat light. Like really, it gives a really nice cat light, the L shape with the light showing in there. So once again, it's just one light and two fill boards. One filling on the left. If the light is on the right, the one fills on the left, and then the other fills below. So let's take a few more for you guys to see. So chin down a bit. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, let's do like shoulder. Wow. Drop the other hand behind you. Yeah, like that, yeah. Nice. And as you can bring that hand like around your neck. You know, the same pose, yeah. Yeah, like that, yeah. Okay. So yeah, so this is how I do my one light setup in the studio. And in fact, if I'm on location to do the same setup that I'll do, one light and then a fill board and sometimes filling below. So you can try this out. It's not really a hard thing to do. You just know how to position the light. As I taught you already, you have to position it in such a way that you have the edges of the softbox hitting the model instead of the middle part, and then you find a whiteboard to fill in. So this is something that you also would have to practice over and over again to really understand it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.